Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Auto Rig Fix. So, today's the day. The weather hasn't been so great, but finally we have a break. We're going to be working on the S2000. Today we're going to be doing a inexpensive mod that I've seen online, and I've always wanted to try it. So, we're going to unwrap the car, switch it around, and we're going to get to work. Come on, let's go. Here we'll do a little bit of a cold start. It's been a while since we started it up. All right, so now that everything's been moved around, let's open this hood. All right, so today what we're going to be doing is a inexpensive modification. Before that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background. When I first purchased this car, I had the A&M V2 cold air intake, which I'll put a picture just right here. It's the intake that would go down and go into the bumper. Wasn't quite a fan of that, so I went ahead and I purchased the K&N complete air intake system. Had that in the car for a while. I'll put a picture of it right here. I went ahead and I purchased an OEM air intake box. I've had it for about 2 summers now. One thing I've been noticing online that a lot of people do is they modify the box so that it gets more air and you get a little bit of sound. So perfect, and you don't have that heat soak problem. So on today's episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to remove the air box and do that modification. So let's go ahead and let's take out the air box. All right, so before we start to remove the air intake and start doing the modification, what I'll do is I'll start the car and we'll rev it up and see what it sounds like before. And then after we're done, I'll start the car up again and rev it up, and we'll see what it sounds like after. And then you guys can be the judge. Let me know in the comments section down below if you guys think you guys heard a difference in the sound. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the car, and yeah, we'll listen to see what it is before. All right, to start, we're going to remove the upper case of the air intake box. So we've got like 6 clips right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We just got to remove it. One of the modifications that we do to the upper case is we're going to remove this air inlet. I'll show you guys. We're going to just drill it out and pop it off. When we go in the backyard and we're going to do the mods, I'll show you exactly how to drill them out. Some tools that we're going to be using for this modification: needle nose pliers, a screwdriver, a ratchet with a 10mm socket, and there is 3 bolts that hold the lower case to the car. We're just going to lift up the cone and the air intake, and if we have to, we'll just remove one of the hoses, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So like I said before, there are 3 bolts. You got one right there. There's going to be another one in the back right there. There's going to be another one just behind the tube right there. This is an AP1, so that's why there's this air intake tube here, but AP2s don't have that, so you won't need to remove that. Also, you have your solenoid here that you're gonna have to remove, and then there's just 2 or 3 wires back here, air hoses that we're gonna remove. And there is a wiring harness connector is right down there that we're going to be just removing so that we can get the box out. And again, when we remove the intake, we're just going to pop this out like that. All right, so there we have it. We've removed the bottom part of the air intake. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go into the backyard, have a little table set up there, and I'll show you exactly where to cut and what to patch up. And yeah, so we'll see you guys in the backyard. All right, so we got our little makeshift workshop. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out this wall here so that more air comes in through here and gets into the air intake. Be careful, make sure that you leave this tab here so that the original or the K&N air filter that you purchase fits well. It's the perfect size for the tube, and there is a support that goes in here so that it stays proper. Another little thing is what we're going to do is with the leftover wall plastic, we're going to be covering up the little hole that's in here, because what happens is that air comes in here and it makes like a little restriction so that when you have an original setup, it lowers the sound. It acts like a muffler. So what we're going to do again, we're going to remove this plate, and then we're just going to glue up this little hole, and we're going to go ahead and reinstall it on the car. So let's go ahead and cut this up. So there you go, we cut it out. And now I'm going to go ahead and just pass a little bit of a sandpaper to even it all out, and we're going to clean it up, and then I'll show you guys how to cover the little square hole that's right there. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cover up that hole that's there. So we're going to take a piece of paper. I've already cut the two tabs so it slides in, and we're just going to trace it out on the piece of paper, and then we're going to go and trace it out on the plastic to make sure that the plastic that covers is the correct size. Now the reason I use paper, it's good thing that we have dirty hands, is that see I already cut out little tabs where it goes in, and then I rubbed and folded back, so I have an exact shape of what the hole is. I'm going to go and just trace that onto the plastic and then cut it out. And just to make sure that the shape is proper, we're going to go ahead and just make sure it fits in the hole. Perfect fit. So now we're going to go ahead and now we know that we're sure that it fits exactly. We're just going to trace it on the plastic, then cut it out. All right, so after grinding it down a little bit, we got it to its perfect shape right here. And it fits perfectly into the hole. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just sand it down lightly and put some glue so that'll hold, and then I'll put a little bit of sealer afterwards around it. The V7000, and then we're just going to take some light sandpaper, just sand on the edges so that it adheres to the two plastics together. Perfect. And in she goes. And while that's drying, what we're going to do is we're going to drill out these two plastics. There's two here, and then there's two there, and we're going to remove the air induct inlet. All right, so there you have it. It's removed. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the car, and we're going to put everything back, and then we'll test it, and we'll see is there any real big difference in sound, and afterwards we'll go for a road test and see if there's any big difference in performance. So yeah, head over to the car. All right, and last but not least, we're going to put back the top cover, and then we're going to start it up, and then we'll see if there's any difference in the sound. All right, so not sure exactly, but I think I can hear a little bit of difference. We're gonna go for a road test, and then we're going to test it out and see if we can hear any difference in noises in the sound in the car and what does it give performance-wise. All right, so let's go do this road test. Alright, so we're off on our road test. Let's see how sound is at lower RPMs, and then we'll go on the highway and we'll rev it up a little bit higher, and we'll see if there's a big difference. A lot of people online have been telling me that once you get into the vtec red lines, that's where the most sound comes from, and at the same time we'll see if there's any performance difference as well. And I have my co-pilot here, my test driver, to check it out at the same time. There is a slight difference around 4,000 RPMs, but not as I thought it would be. But also it could be maybe I'm using the OEM air intake cone. Let me know, guys, if that's what you think it might be. Might be just because I have the OEM cone on. Maybe I should invest in getting into the K&N. Let me know in the comment section down below. Alright, so there we have it. After doing a nice little road test at low RPMs and low speeds, and at higher RPMs at higher speeds, I come to the conclusion, and guys, this is my personal opinion, that there is a little bit of a difference, especially with the throttle response. You have a little bit more throttle response. The RPMs get up there a little bit quicker. Noise-wise, I can't really tell a difference. There were certain points, maybe around 4,000, 4,005, that you could hear a little bit of a difference. But yeah, is it a good mod to do? You know what, as a beginner, if you want to start off, yeah, it is. And then you can gradually go up to the other cold air intakes if you want. But again, I think for the price that it costs, it's a great modification to start with. And again, eventually what I'll do is I'll also purchase the K&N intake cone, and we'll see from there. So with that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna go and continue our ride. This is what he's been waiting for. Top down, baby. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Good night.